Hello, hello.
How are you? How are you? Hello, Tomislav.
Great. How are you? Are you okay?
Thank you, thank you. Fine, thank you. So,
Okay.
hello. Really, thank you for coming to this interview. It must have happened much more earlier. It's before it must happen before 0.5, but all these issues that come with this because I'm a streamer and video blogger and server administrator and just don't have enough time to
Yeah, you're a busy man. I understand.
yes
It's okay.
to gather all the questions, and sometimes I'm getting questions, Demik, why don't you do this thing in game? Why your server still lagging? Why are you, people think I'm a developer, okay? But you know, and sometimes we get really angry because of this stuff, because I'm not just making streams of Scum, I'm promoting Scum. To buy Scum, I'm making a case, lotteries and all this stuff on my channel. Okay,
Sure.
so I know, and you talk about the Rakit interview. I really love this guy. Okay, so you talk with last interview. Scum will be published and seriously marketed in after 0.5. So actually, we're now in this marketing period.
Yes. Yes. That's a plan, and we are currently sort of in negotiations with different kind of marketing companies, and we are trying to find a way what's the best approach. Of course, we are talking with Valve, Steam too, and the biggest next step that we will have, which will include much more marketing and everything, would be Steam Free Weekend. And we are still determining the date. It will be in following months. I don't have exact date so far. And after that, you will probably notice huge amount, increase in number of players and in overall interest for the game. So these are our sort of major move that we didn't thought of doing it. We didn't think of doing it up until the point that we were satisfied with the state of the game and how it runs and everything. We still have to do a little bit regarding server optimization, client optimization, and the guys are doing it right now. So most likely in not this update that this page that we will be releasing at the end of this week. Let's say 92% if everything goes right. But most likely in the next one, we will have some improvements on performance too. And also the guys are working in parallel on some things related to hackers and cheaters.
So all this stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, but all this stuff, what you said right now, it's exactly the questions what I mean to ask you about and optimism, because Scum right now in this state, many can say Scum is best of games survival genre, and Scum is the largest game, it's the best game on Unreal Engine, and have much more. I have one opinion about it. Scum is the single game of this genre. You can't compare it not to Rust, not to Days, not to Ark, not. Scum is absolutely unique, and it will be the last game on this genre. It will be the largest project on the internet, and just I'm not asking to believe me or something like this, okay? But you will see it in the future, because you encountered a very hard problems with game, because your ambitions and the
Yes.
absolutely infinitive way ways of options in game, of possibilities in game, of perspectives in game. This game, I don't want to think what this game gonna be when it will be modded by communities. But
Yes.
it's absolutely infinitive number of ways it's gonna be. But right now, we have a serious problem with performance. Okay, I saw in Steam you are raised a little bit a minimal requirements and a recommended requirements for Scum game. Okay, but I can say right now in this state on recommended hardware, for example hardware, it's not running smooth. Lot of Russian community cannot play this game anymore. Okay, these guys are very disappointed, and after a 0.5, because we are the streamers, we said after 0.4 what everything wanna be all right in 0.5. All server administrators said wait, it will be 0.5 gonna be, but right now the game is published, is gonna be published and marketed, and in this state I think it's a little bit problematic, because you're also working on content. And as I talked with some persons who claim to be very high qualified publisher of very big game, he said that Scum developers must absolutely stop the development of content and must work about game performance. What you can say about what we can expect from the game?
Yeah, so I will have to say that this thing isn't right. You know, whoever you have been talking to, obviously is not experienced developer or experienced regarding development. Maybe it's you know, if you're talking with publishers, they usually don't know anything about development. Now the thing is that if you have a project that you have to finish, you obviously have to you know, add content, add features, add mechanics, add different kind of things. And basically, if you are not talking about the early access game, then development goes in the way that you put up everything together, and the optimization, final optimization is usually be done at the end when everything is in the game. So there is really no point of doing optimizations in steps, like each month or each week or each couple of months, because you'll be doing things again and again and again. So this is something that applies on us, but obviously this is some different kind of project. So until the whole or majority of content is being added to the game, you can never expect the game to run perfectly smooth. So we and development, how it goes, usually add a lot of stuff in the game. The game is complicated. In many cases, some new stuff that we add break some stuff that worked before. And this is kind of, I know it's a little bit frustrating for players, but this is normal thing in game development, especially on this kind of big, huge projects. Now, Scum is playable, you know, in early access. We have to do iterational optimization process, and we usually, you know, try to do them as often as possible. And I'm not a technical guy. I'm creative director, and it's not my job to, you know, to go with optimization and stuff like that. But I'm for a long time in game development, I'm aware of the things, and I know how things work. So I'm not the right person to talk to about the steps of the optimizations. But what I can tell you is that first, making a single player game and multiplayer game is completely different universe. We basically have a single player, which is you know, not of much of use right now because it doesn't have missions, quests, and stuff like that, NPCs. So players do use it for testing the features of the game, and stuff like that, which is cool.
Yes.
Doing multiplayer game is completely different type of work, because you have to worry about many things that you simply don't have to do when you're building single player game. There are like several steps of optimization. If you're doing single player game, then you obviously don't have to worry about network optimization, servers and everything, which makes things much easier. If you're doing multiplayer game, then basically all features that you have to do, you already during the implementation of every single feature, our programmers are actually doing certain amounts of optimization. But as the features stack up one upon the other, you can imagine them as layers. There are like always a certain amount of ballast that was sort of released, and these are not technical terms. In this process that can be sort of removed and optimized to make game run more smoothly. Now, if we're talking about what you're saying currently, which doesn't have to do with server optimization or client optimization regarding the lag and stuff like that, if we're talking about rendering optimization,
yes, rendering.
Now, this is also this is heavily linked with Unreal Engine. We are not building the game on our technology. We are building the game on Unreal Engine, which is going in the way, defined by Epic and not by us. And we do have our own branch, and we do sort of develop or change Unreal Engine in certain ways. But on each iteration of Unreal Engine that gets released, if we want to sort of switch to that newer version and use whatever Epic has been doing, then we have to do merging our current version and their new version, and this usually takes at least a couple of weeks of stuff. And in many cases, some things that we have done and worked perfectly, in our branch of Unreal Engine doesn't work after the merge, and we have to fix that. And you're sort of having a battle on the multiple fronts right now regarding this kind of things. Unreal Engine, as it is not built for this kind of game. Fortnite is much smaller game, and if there wasn't for Fortnite, we probably wouldn't be able to build this kind of game at all on Unreal Engine. Yep. So we had to modify it really heavily. Now, regarding the rendering, if we decide to stick to, certain, let's say, version of Unreal Engine, then obviously we can definitely optimize rendering and, tune out things much better. But in that occasion, we will actually lose everything, every future feature that Unreal Engine gets in future iterations, and it's simply not something that we would like to do right now. Simply because the guys from the Epic are developing really breathtaking stuff, and you probably seen this MetaHuman. Yes. and everything, and the game Scum can definitely, if we are going to keep up with new stuff that Epic is bringing up on the table, then you have to consider that Epic is doing this kind of things for a modern or PCs that are not like built 5 years ago or 10 years ago, so these like low settings will always move a little bit, in a way that you will have to upgrade your PC to play the game. Now there is always a way how to sort of go around this kind of thing. I also have a potato PC at home. I'm keeping it simply because of this kind of things, and I definitely have noticed drop in the frame rate with 0.5. which I obviously don't like. I can play, let's say, more or less fine most of the time, but I had to bring down the resolution by 70 to 70%, and then I have like a decent frame rate. The point is, if as long as we are going to follow the modern technologies and modern features and everything that will make the game let's say better looking, and stuff like that, then certain sacrifices will have to be done. However, there is solution for the people who have PCs that don't have like enough power to run the game, and that's basically GeForce Now streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like decent internet connection, you basically can stream the game with GeForce Now service over the Steam. So we have people playing the game on really shitty laptops with no graphic cards, and they work. But if you want to compete with top players with high performance, that you simply cannot go around it, because you will definitely need a good PC.
Mm-hmm.
We will still have to do a round of optimization regarding rendering. We didn't stop with that. The main problem right now is Sky, which is really heavy on the performance. So if we sort of remove the Sky, which I wouldn't like, because the game looks much better and everything sort of sits in the place, then you will probably notice decent amount of raise in frame rates, and people will have like playable version. I've been talking with our CTO about options to sort of make really low resolution Sky, for low end PCs,
Mm-hmm.
which might bring some jumps in frame rate too. But we will have to see if this is possible regarding how things are done in Unreal Engine. This isn't related to us. It's just we are using Unreal Engine features, and if this feature sort of complies to this request, then we will probably be managed to do it. If not, then we have to stick with what we got.
Yep. And yes, you have plenty of options and settings with graphical settings, but I saw what, no matter what I'm trying to turn it off or turn on in these options, in graphic options in the game, my FPS it's not drastically going up or going down. It's just the resolution of the game by percent. Okay. So
basically in PCs you have like two things. First is graphic card, and the second is CPU. So ideally, if you have this balance between those two, then you have like a good, decent frame rate. If there is a disbalance, for example, you have like low CPU and high-end graphic card, then basically your graphic card cannot be used to a maximum, because CPU cannot control it, deliver it enough information for a graphic card to render. And the opposite way around, if you have high-end CPU who can process many things, and low-end graphic card, then basically graphic card cannot like manage to render everything in time. So this is basically a huge problem with PCs from day one, which is something that consoles don't have. And there is like one more thing, and this is like bus, like this collector, data bus, which collects all the data between these two components and memory. And this is something that consoles basically don't have. And this is why games on consoles sometimes run much faster, because there is not like limited data transfer over this data bus interface.
Yep, and mostly they are optimized for the hardware they make for. If you
absolutely. But with PCs, obviously you have much more flexibility. You can change stuff with time. You can for me, it's always a better solution than a consoles because consoles last just like a couple of years, while you can PC, you can exploit PC for 10 years, more or less, if you sort of didn't buy on the first year the really low end PC, which makes sense.
But right now, I don't have a high-end top PC. Okay, I'm 6016 Ti GeForce and i7 10700, and the problem, the game moving smooth. Okay, on minimal settings, but sometimes I can do nothing staying in one location and my FPC just drops up to 20, and it stays up to 20 for 5 minutes and then it's going back to 60. I think there is a memory leaking somewhere, or something rendering to my PCs, trying to bitcoins, to make bitcoins. I don't know, to mining. A lot of people talking that GamePires is mining with our PCs a bitcoin. So it's
I know.
It's very problematic, even for recommended PC that you are mentioning, Steam. It's very problematic to run the game not even smooth or not even ideal, or to be a top players, but to gain 45 FPS. It's
it's with low recommendation, you basically when you have like on a store like low settings, not recommended, but low settings for PC, then what you can basically expect is somewhere between 25 and 30 FPS. Recommended settings should get you around 40 to 50 FPS in the game. This is how these things work.
Okay,
usually.
But can we expect in the near future or far future some kind of optimizations in patches on something?
Yeah, absolutely. I again, I'm not from the technical side. Maybe it would be better that you have basically organized this interview with our CTO, because I'm handling the gameplay itself.
I wanted to, but someone said me, you have to talk with Tomislav. He can crush with fist on the table and
I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I like to take my fist on the table. So the best thing that you can basically do, and I can advise all of our players, users who have these problems, is basically to send their stats, PC stats, to our Q&A, and then try at least to get from them some recommended graphical settings for them to get the game working in some way, at least. So the thing is that what I was saying before, if we stop adding content right now, which doesn't make any sense, because we have like content crew, who is we have team modelers, animators, level designers, and basically they cannot program. They're not programmers. Understand that, of course. And you have like programmers who are basically adding support for features, implementing features, doing optimization, fighting hackers, doing rendering, multiplayer server client optimization, stuff like that. So basically they're like doing this programming stuff, which is really important for the game. And if we stop adding content, then basically I have like half of the people who will not do anything. And there is obviously stuff that our content people don't have to ask for programming support at all. So we currently have a map. Streaming is working relatively okay. Basically our level designers can fill the map with points of interest and stuff like that all the time, and you will get more content. if you are talking about adding new features, this is something that we also have to do, because the game will not progress if we just do the optimization. And if you let's say it's this like imaginary case that we basically stop everything and optimize the game to work perfectly. What will happen with the first next update? Most likely we will have to do optimization again, because we added new kind of new amount of features, new stuff, and everything. So unfortunately, with early access model, we are stuck to this business model where we have to push content, optimize, and go in iteration until we reach, let's say, 1.0 version. And then when we see that we are sort of happy with amount of content that we have created about the features, everything, then we do some final, again, it's not final, but let's say final optimization for the game to be released, because we will keep working on the game even after 1.0.
Yes.
Which is for me normal, because as long as people want new stuff in the game, we will definitely deliver. And this can be more like cosmetic stuff, more like life quality stuff that people who are spending a lot of time in the game can use, to, let's say, role play, or maybe, to have some activities, to spend some time, let's say, playing, football, maybe playing cards or stuff like that, which is not like crucially important for the gameplay and the game itself, but gives this like extra flavor to everything, and makes this nice world of sandbox, which is the bottom layer of the game, gives you possibility to do anything in the world, in the universe.
Yep. And another not not a little question. It's more critical than first one. Okay, I know it's not from your side. Okay, but maybe can you answer it about a network optimization? And I explain why I'm asking that, because Scum in this state, I have more than 11,000 hours in this game, and administrating this game, and running streams every week, 3-4 streams for this game, 3 years now, without couple of months. But now the networking state of this game, it's very problematic. So players right now have to make these synthetic meetings. They don't have a need to exit their base. You always talking about they hoarding stuff, and they making large bases, castles, or fazendas. I don't know how you call it. And right now we waited for the enlargement of the online counters at 0.5. Okay, now you enlarged the map. You really enlarge it in 50%, and right now you can run for 3 hours on this map and not even meet even one player on servers with 80 players, not 64 as official, 80 players. You can, why it's happening? Because players are, they don't have a really need to exit their base. If they want loot, if they want resources or food, they can find it in each sector. In each sector, weapons, equipments, all this stuff. They cannot raid in this counter of online. They cannot raid normally. They're starting to lag, to lose their loot, and actually to lose their investment of time. I think it is very dangerous of this state of this, because it's online. I think Scum is ready to be absolutely autonomic game. Why I'm talking about the content? You don't really need the content in this game, these features right now. If you put 100 players on this map, Tomislav, you can forget about this game. The players starting to do this game by their selves. Absolutely, there is no absolutely meetings on the map. I don't see fights between players. Nothing, because players are lagging. And what are future plans of networking? Where we are going to?
Again, I'm not the person who should answer these questions, but I will try to answer them. As you know, this development is going in iterations, and each iteration we have to do a certain amount of optimization. We are currently in the one of these phases for both server and the client optimization, and I believe that the next week or the week after that there will be update which is currently under testing, and it's shown really good progress regarding the this lag and performance and in general. So yes, you should be able to see some difference in a couple of weeks. Obviously, since I'm not a technical guy, it's really hard to explain what is going on. But to be precise, in general, we have when lag is happening, it's usually connected to at least one of three things. One thing is obviously performance of the hardware. Basically, it depends on server provider. So this is one of the things. The other thing is obviously the game itself. Because how it handles stuff, and the third thing is usually connected with some sort of maybe potential client issues that user has on its own PC. Now, the worst part for these kind of things is when you have issues with all three stuff at the same time. Then it's really hard to fix everything. Especially we can work on the game, we can work on the optimization, but if our partners who are leasing the servers have issues with hardware and performance, can you hear me?
Yes. But
Okay.
Your partners, you mean G-Portal?
Well, we have several partners. We have Nitrado, we have G-Portal, we have Ping Perfect, I believe, and basically they run servers on different type of hardware, which is available in the region. So if suddenly after switching IP of your server, you have like problems with performance, then and we didn't change the game much, then it's most likely you have been switched to the lower hardware. This is something that we cannot influence, the best way is to talk with our partners.
Yep.
G-Portal, yeah.
Yep. But sorry to interrupt you, but they said to me, because I rented a absolutely dedicated machine for my servers, for example. Absolutely, it's a crazy amount of money you are renting for
Yes.
250 slots for one server or for two servers on one hardware, and they said no matter how in which region you have absolutely the same hardware.
No, that's not true. That's not true. What you can basically have is that you have like these server machines which have different number of CPUs, and again, I'm not a technical guy, but basically, if you rent the whole server, then you have like let's say multi-core server at your disposal, and you shouldn't have any issues with the server, with the performance regarding the server side. However, if you share this server with more users, this means that this server runs multiple instances of the game, and that's basically like them like being sort of, I wouldn't say cheap but sort of trying to push much more users on the same hardware.
Yes,
at the same time.
That's what they are doing, and
Yeah.
I reverted back to regular servers from dedicated machine, and I want to tell you, there's no profit at all. Absolutely no difference. Absolutely no difference in online counters. Absolutely no difference in ping. Absolutely. Even these numbers of hardware performance, CPU and memory stuff you see in the main page of gPortal, it's the same. It's the same, absolutely the same. I think it's some of animation, not really performance of my server.
No, I believe that they're like giving you the real things. I'm not saying anything that this kind of things is happening or it's not happening, because I don't have any way to see these kind of things. Mm-hmm. But what we know is that this kind of servers obviously are different from the region to region. I'm not saying that let's say in Russia you don't have like the same servers as the people in Germany, but for example, we know that people in South Africa or in Africa in general are running the game on much lower specification servers than the other regions. So yeah, there are different kind of hardwares all around the world, and this kind of hardware will be upgraded eventually. But in this case, and what is happening currently, most likely the hardware is not the issue, but the game itself. So our steps in the future, and you should be able to notice the difference in the next couple of weeks, is that we sort of fix everything on our side, that we are completely sure, after we run tests, that the game doesn't cause issues regarding the performance. And at that point, if issues actually appear, then, this is not something that, people should be, I wouldn't say blaming us, because, basically, they had to choose either gPortal or Intrado or PingPerfect or whichever partner. So this is something that people should report to us and report to whoever their servers they're using for the game. Okay. But I can give you a promise that we are definitely working on network issues. Guys have found some stuff that weren't done properly, so there were like issues from with these packages and everything with the game itself. The current version of optimized version is under testing right now. Mm-hmm. It should be available not in this update this week, then the next one. Mm-hmm. But it will still not be the final optimization because, as I said before, the game needs constant optimization regarding everything, as long as we are adding features in the game. And this will be definitely for the next year, at least. Mm-hmm. So, just hang on. If you have issues, the best approach is to report everything that you have to our Q&A, so that we know what's the extent of the issues that we have. For example, we know about the problems we already received from multiple server owners in Russia, that they have issues. Mm-hmm. We then try to see what's the sort of average hardware that is being used there, both on, let's say, gPortal and client side. This is something that we can access from Steam and see how it goes. Then we decide about what can be done. Now, what you have to realize, this is something that you cannot be done in 2 days.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. And
yeah. So we are completely aware of the problem. As we are aware of the problem with cheaters, and I have guys our Q&A working constantly and banning them all of the time, and we banned like hundreds of them in the last couple of weeks. But this kind of thing is ongoing battle. We decided to spend some resources on protecting the game. Because obviously with bigger amount of player numbers, there will be bigger amount of cheaters, and we want to approach this thing seriously. What is sort of a problem here is that people expect that we will remove cheaters in over the night or something like that, which isn't happening for many reasons. One reason, the most important one, Epic is Unreal Engine is basically open platform. Anybody can start it. Anybody can look for the loopholes. Anybody can do different kind of cheats, and basically they are literally having like programs which are reading memory
created.
codes.
No, yes, I'm
Yeah,
really close.
yeah,
Recreated Scum overlay game it's by itself, not on your engine, but on Unreal Engine. I
yeah.
saw the cheat. I contacted the seller of the cheat to retrieve all the list. I reported to Christian. It was a couple of months ago.
Yes.
I entered the mafia. Oh, don't ask me. It was very terrible.
Yeah.
I saw this cheat. Why people are do okay? They finding exploits in game. Okay, they helping this stuff, but why?
From what we have heard, cheaters usually use this because first reason is revenge. If they want to, humiliate somebody, who maybe has done something bad to them, that's the first reason. And the second reason, because they want to be the best in the wrong way. They want to win. In my time, when I was started playing multiplayer games, and then I basically started with the whole multiplayer thing on the PC and everything. There was no such a thing. For me, is having aimbot or something like that was why the hell would I have that? Because it will completely ruin my gaming experience, and I know that basically I
Absolutely.
don't know how to play the game, so it doesn't tell me anything. But obviously, there are people who maybe have this cultural thing that they need to prove something, and they sort of explain that with the reason it with everybody is doing it, so everybody has, or at least everybody has opportunity to do it. So it's like a normal thing, and I want to beat everybody, so I'm using it myself too. And unfortunately, a lot of these people are coming from China, and maybe that's sort of part of their gaming culture. I don't know,
Yes,
but
yes,
this is
you're right.
something that we notice.
Yes, yes. One little question about private dedicated servers with secured access from the devs, if you know what I mean. You have any plans for it?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have plans. At one point, when the game gets closer to be fully completed, uh, the updating the servers is quite difficult. We currently have 3 partners. I think 3, maybe 4. I'm not handling this kind of thing. With each update, we have to announce it to our partners. They have to update their servers, and it's already getting a little bit complicated, because usually we have a lot of updates each couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks we have an update. Then literally immediately after that, maybe 1 day up to 1 week, we have a hot fix.
Mhm.
And now try to imagine having all, having dedicated servers in a way that people all around the world will have to upgrade them themselves. So this means that when we release the update, this update should be downloaded from somewhere, which obviously means that we will have to. We don't have like servers. We put stuff on the Steam. We don't distribute this kind of things. So this means that we will have to do something regarding the infrastructure. And obviously communication with a lot of communication with server owners, because basically people will start asking questions why their server isn't working. Although it's the most obvious thing is you don't have the right version. So currently for us, with our tempo of work and everything, this distribution is the biggest problem. Eventually, when we make the game more complete, then obviously there will be like dedicated server. I just want to mention one thing. The moment that we release network code and dedicated server, you can expect a lot of cheaters, much more cheaters than we have right now.
Of course, and all.
This is normal for all the old games that have released that. So this is also one of the critical stuff that we have to decide ourselves. When is the good time to release dedicated servers? That's the one thing. And the second thing is there a way how we can protect, dedicated servers, basically you as a users against cheaters if we release these files, which is also quite important.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I understand. What I want was about the cheaters. Why don't you implement the IP ban? We need this option. It's must to have options in the G portal settings. The IP ban. You understand? Because we have the same IPs from 2080. From Scum release, the same IP, for example, ZenLayer VPN, all the cheaters are going from this side, and we don't have. Some of devs say to me it's against a Steam agreement or something like this. We cannot do, but I saw it in other server, other servers of other games settings. You can ban a network. Absolutely a network. Yep. or IP mask, full IP mask, and or to make some whitelist. For example, you have wife and husband playing Scum, okay, they're playing from the same IPs, okay, so you can add their IP to whitelist and they continue to play. But we must have this option in G portal. It can prevent from cheaters entering the server. Okay, it will not prevent from cheater to change their IP. Okay, you can change it in one click, but it will help a lot.
Yeah. So basically you answered the question yourself partially. I'm not from the technical side, so I'm just giving you general answer for that. It would be much better to talk with Andre about these kind of things. But when I asked him about this IP ban, whitelisting IPs, and stuff like that, the answer was, well, anybody can just go through VPN and you basically can detect this IP. It's not like permanent fix, so maybe it's not worth doing. Then we talked about obviously there are like servers in Europe or Russia, and you have like Chinese players playing there. Why shouldn't they be playing on their servers? Why do they have like any wish to play with American servers, or so how we can stop that? And we definitely can go with some sort of protection regarding the ping. Yeah, because no matter where they are, even if they use VPN, if we ping their PCs, then obviously their ping will be, much higher, and we can just cut them off. Now, certain amount of players who are not cheaters will have issues with that, because I know personally a couple of servers who, are having players from Australia, Europe, or United States, and they have like a good relationship with them. They're like friends and everything. And the moment we introduce this like sort of ping control, some of them might not be able to connect anymore. So I just want to address that solutions like this are necessary and will be necessary in the future, but there will be like unfortunately side effects of these moves, and some players will have to stick to playing the game in their own region, unfortunately.
Okay, and about logs on the server, now it's working like that. If I found some cheater on my server, I starting to prove to Christian why he's the cheater, and it was obvious a cheater. It was seller of the cheaters. A couple of weeks ago, it was a seller of the cheater. We catch them on my server, gaining all the weapons he can. He absolutely magnetize all weapons from all the bases, but I have to prove sometimes, and I don't know if he is a cheater or it's a desyncs. I don't have much logs for this, and
yes.
I don't know why don't you implement logs of movement, for example, of interactions. Okay, it's a lot of data. Okay, it's a lot.
We have a list of requests from all private server owners all around the world, and they're like on one huge task list that we are sort of adding from time to time, and eventually we will have these kind of things. If you think that there will be like specific thing that might help you a lot, then please contact Kiki, Christian, or any of other Q&A guys, and they will either tell it to me, or we will just put it on the list and see when it can be in the game. But the same issues that you have in chasing cheaters are the issues that our Q&A has at the same time, because they're doing the same thing. Now, you asked, so we are aware of the problem, and we're definitely will dedicate, and we did dedicate parts of our already time to implement admin features in the game. But you obviously see that we're not just building the game itself. It will be much easier for us to just build the game. We have to build the game, optimize the game, fight the cheaters, make proper tools for admins. So it's a huge
but if you will enter all these things in game, what admins ask you, it will help us to build a feature like this bot who's just gather statistics of this game, analyzing them and translating them to absolutely friendly logs that I can see absolutely fastly, to see who is logging, how much he's in the game, how the distance he was killed. I don't need to enter these logs of G Portal and to see all this stuff. But if you will add these features in the servers, I think it will much more easier for you to fight cheaters, and you can you can work on the game, not fight with cheaters all the time.
I agree with you 100%. The problem is that we don't want to publish everything in log file, simply because we don't want to get to a point where most of the processing time on server is writing the log file, because obviously you can choke up the server if you don't let him do what it should be doing, and that's running the game. Instead, collecting all the information from hundreds of things that are happening on the game and putting in the log. We really have to be really, really careful to put, stuff that, are, sort of unique and which can be used to identify cheaters really quickly. So the game itself has to be done in a way to recognize that something is wrong. So let me explain. There's no.
I know this violation log is not working. Violation.
So,
it's empty for a year and a half. It's empty.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying, instead of making, log filled with, I don't know, movement of player and coordinates each like couple of, I don't know, seconds or something like that. The game itself should be built in a way to recognize that player has moved over the map in, strange way, and then it puts this kind of thing in a log. So these are like two different approaches. The first approach is just put everything that you can, and then we will sort it out. And the second approach is let's be smart. Let's let the game track what players are doing, and if something is going wrong, then put it in the log. So this is something that we will try to do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's good idea. By the way, I don't think about it.
They're like in everything that you do. They're like always couple of possible ways how to do the same thing. We are trying to do not the smartest way, because the smartest way maybe has to deal with a lot of time spent, on something. But the sort of the best buy way, the most optimized way how to do everything, so that basically you get what you want, and we don't have to spend much time on it. So that we can focus on other things.
Mm-hmm.
But rest assured, list of admin things are well known. We have huge list of stuff that people are requesting, and we try to push a couple of things like each to weekly update, so that eventually, with time, you will get a lot of different kind of tools and different type of logs and everything.
Okay.
Which hopefully will make your life much better.
So we need all admins to talk with Christian. I understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He will get this not list, this book of lists.
Absolutely. Send them as many as you can.
Okay. About 0.5 to 0.6. About Z-line sectors, zero sectors line, new POIs, this genetical hospital, it's armored stuff, or weapon factory, or garbage, or new city. How it's going? It's going to be in 0.5 or 0.6 or?
Obviously we don't have a lot of people to make this huge jump just to enlarge the world and then just fill it with content. So the new POIs, cities, villages, roads, everything will be gradually added up until 1.0. So in the next update we will get one POI which is in D0 sector.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guys are doing their POIs, so they'll be also be added as they arrive in most likely weekly updates to weekly updates. From now, you can imagine this as setting up the stage for future features, including NPCs and stuff like that.
Okay, and 0.6 it's must be the PVE. I understand PVE.
We are sort of as you said, Scum is pretty much unique. It's not DayZ, it's not Rust, it's not Ark. It's own thing. I would say that it's somewhere in between DayZ and and Rust, but it has many things that are quite different from both of these games. So the thing is that we're trying to build a game for both PvE and PvP. PvP, everything that relates to shooting other players, basically, having guns and everything, and PvE elements, which includes AI, which includes NPCs, which includes this metabolism thing, which includes missions and everything. So if we are doing something, then we're doing stuff for the game. Obviously, metabolism will be part of both PvE and PvP, because we are making changes in many things regarding how characters will behave under heavy load and stuff like that, if they break a leg and stuff like that, and this will in fact inflict both of these worlds. Most likely in the events, which are again a unique part of the game also, we will sort of leave things to be more arcadish, because that's the point of the event. And it's not the point that you have to eat, or stuff like that in the events. But, all these things that we are basically building, we can say they're like more in PvE direction, but they will also influence the PvP segment of the game. So it's all connected.
Of course. You talked about you hate shortcuts. Okay, you hate shortcuts in the game. You're trying to destroy all these shortcuts that can just simply my example is the raids right now in the game. It's absolutely disbalanced. From one point you have to gather C4 and gain a big team and lockpicks and screwdrivers and cars and fight with guys and break their base. From the second point, you have this easiest way. You can just craft kunais, this little knife, kunai, and just within 10 minutes you destroying every wall, tier 3 wall, and I think maybe a concrete wall you're going. But why not to add these things to server settings, or maybe to disable throwing damage to walls? Or
yes. So these kind of examples that you said should be reported to us. First, that we are aware of these kind of shortcuts that players can use, these really simple tools to get through somebody's walls to get inside the base. So first thing that we have to know that. The second thing is that we will change how melee weapons work, and this is something that I think it's already being done. So certain weapons will simply not have any impact on certain things. Let's say that if you have like a knife, you wouldn't be able to do much damage to a wooden door. But if you have an axe, yes, you will have good chance that you will be damaging wooden wall. But if it comes to if you come to metal wall, then both axe and knife wouldn't do anything, because obviously, except to destroy themselves. But then maybe you will have to take a sledgehammer, and then you have like a chance to make let's say not big damage, but okay. So using sledgehammer on the sort of this like metal wall will have much more impact than anything else. So we are approaching this kind of thing in a smarter way. If you have any knowledge about possible shortcuts that players are doing that we are not aware of, just send it to Q&A, and we will modify them so that things get more balanced, at least up until the point when we change how everything works.
Yes. Okay. I think about these kind of things. You can you simply can add to server settings, and the admins can decide if if their server more casual or more realistic or more because this throwing damage he exists in the game for half of year, and everybody talk about. I think Q&A informed about it, and I think it's big problem on official servers. It was the reason. It was the reason why these kind of grinding stones are removed from the game. Well, this improvised the grinding stones you're removed from the game. It's because of throwing damage. People are just crafting a knife, starting to throw into wall and destroying every tier of wall in 10 minutes. Okay, and about gold locks, it's very hard from amateur lock picker, but for experienced one, I have in my team a lock picker who lock picks every lock you will give to him in 10 seconds. Without a macros, without nothing, he have a camera on his hands and on his screen. He just knowing how to lockpick. You don't have much lockpickers, but this number is growing. It's not. I think there is a lot of suggestions we can provide you.
Let me just give you one thing. There are macros. I'm not saying that your guy is doing it, but there are like basically macros that are running in the background, and even if something is if a guy who is recording the keyboard and what he's doing and have like recording his screen, they're basically not seen in the recording. So they're like I didn't believe until
you see his hands.
Yeah. So the thing is that they're like still people who literally using macros and reading the position of the open macro from the memory, totally weird, and then just play around so that it looks like they're lock picking, but they're like opening locks really easily. Now we as soon as we got obviously and we learned about this kind of thing, then we decided to change stuff, and this is why we are doing certain protection. But we already did several protection regarding the lockpicking, and at one point when we silently released the protection, it was really funny to watch all these professional lockpickers trying to lockpick gold dogs and fail. So
you just need to ban the macros users, to ban them, and
definitely. But the problem is to prove that they are basically using a macro, because it's really hard for both ads and a game to detect this kind of thing, because it's happening on the Windows layer.
Yes.
It's not happening in the game. So it's not just like that, and we cannot just go banning people all around, because it will be like accusing innocent people of doing something. You have to prove that basically they broke some law or something like that. Mm-hmm. So the thing about lockpicking and everything, it's still balancing. It's still in work in progress. And we're also planning many different ways how bases will be defended, but also we're planning to add another ways how players would be able to get into other people's bases. The point is, we don't want to have fully secure locations, and we will never have fully secure, because that's not the point.
Hoarding the stuff. Cars and stuff will be absolutely insufficient.
Yeah. So the thing is, and which something which will help us a lot, if you have any information of how people are cheating, regarding anything, we would really appreciate to get to that information, because once we know how people are doing some things and what they are doing, then we can find a way to stop it. I'm not saying that there are not like good lock pickers in the area, but so far, if the doors are really well protected with both sort of gold locks combination and sort of these like teasers that we have, then lock picking with the gloves isn't that easy. I would definitely love to see somebody going through this kind of locks easy, and to be sure enough that we have to make things more difficult in some way. And there is also one more thing. If people have skills, this is actually a good thing. We are talking here about two different things.
Yes.
One thing is having a skill, and the other is cheating, which seriously have to be cheating has to be removed, and having a good skill have to be supported, because not only that people are good in lock picking, there are like a lot of players who are good in shooting using weapons, while some others aren't good in using weapons. And where would we go if we, sort of detect that the game detects that somebody is really good at something, and then tries to make him with sort of handshaking or something like that to make him worse in shooting other players.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the skill, then you have to cultivate it. The same thing is if you have like skilled player who invents really, he's much better shooter than the other guys, and you have players who are using aimbots. That's the same thing as using macro for lock picking and lock picking gold locks by yourself. And this is something that we have to find a way how to separate these kind of things. And hopefully we will manage to do that. That's one thing. The other thing is what I said before, is that about adding stuff like notifications, that if you for example start lock picking and you fail, then you activate the alarm, and this kind of alarm maybe will have a different types of alarms. So the first level will maybe just start making noise, which will attract puppets in this area, which will make you fight puppets and for a certain time, and then you will be able to either you will have to have like teammates defending you or something like that, but this will last for, let's say, a couple of minutes, and then you have again when alarm drops, you have a chance to start again, up to the alarm where we send email to player or SMS to player that his base is being raided. So this kind of protections will be eventually in the game.
Okay. Or simply broken pick lock in the lock, and nothing. You cannot pick lock until the owner going and trying to open it from the other side, or trying to fix with tools. Okay.
Yeah,
but
maybe that's actually not a bad idea. We still have to think about it a little bit. We have to determine. I don't want to, to have like first a lock pick to break in the lock, and that's it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So maybe if the maybe we make a lock which has a cooldown. So if you break like 10 locks, then you have like cooldown 10 lock picks. Then you need to have like cooldown for a couple of minutes before start lock picking it again. Maybe something like that. So we will see. Definitely not a bad idea. Just we have to think a little bit more how this can be added. What I know from the experience, the moment we add some sort of protection for the defenders, then all attackers start to cry, and I get terrible messages. And the moment we make a way how to get into the base, then all base builders start to cry. It's a never-ending
But
story.
I have a great solution for that. We are heard about the raid block systems. You have it in other games. Raid block. People who are not in game. Let the base elements be much more harder to destroy.
Yes.
But I have one more solution for that. You have many problems with twin accounts. Okay, I'm very interested in to hear your opinion about this. These seconds and free. I have a person on my server who he's playing with 20 accounts. You cannot raid this person. All the C4s and screwdrivers are on his twins. Okay, I can add this function to ban the player who playing with multiple accounts. But from the other side, he buy this game. He spent his time. But you can also have a solution for that, and you talked about it. You said you are against it, and it's very complicated to realize it. To people who going offline, staying within the game, to stay their body in the game, to simplify it. Okay, not to be the person well rendered. To simplify it like a sleep, like bed, a little bed with all his loot.
Yes.
You absolutely, how I say it. You fighting here with multiple accounts, we raiding with multiple accounts. You fighting this with raid blocks, and people will try to raid people online, not going offline when everybody going to sleep. We are in Russia region. You have time zones from Japan to Europe. Okay, you have multiple time zones. You cannot satisfy everyone, but people will try to raid everyone online. And you don't have to solve all these kind of problems, how to defend the base, how to solve this stuff. It's solved very easily, and I think it's more interactive, and it's making the game more interesting when people are playing together, not trying to play alone on the server.
Yeah, of course. We have similar ideas. So one thing that you mentioned, I also like the idea, and I've been talking about these options too. When people leave the game, that basically they are sort of sleeping, resting, whatever, and they have to be careful, where they log off. If they log off in bunker, most likely they will, somebody will get inside and kill them. So
yes,
I like the idea.
It's a real problem. It's a real problem. People logging off with bunkers, they're looting the bunkers, and when you have 18 players servers, you have no bunker with loot. you understand? You have no area with loot. Absolutely everything is looted with twin accounts.
Yeah. So the again, one of the options is to to have these people sleeping on the server. I know that I was for that idea. Our technical director wasn't. He is sort of afraid. He's a guy who is easily getting afraid. So
because it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but we will see about that. The other thing is the progress with skills and attributes and everything. We will definitely reduce the distribution of points at the character creation system, so that people will have to earn these like fully advanced statuses they have. So they will not be able to create one lockpicker, one I don't know, medic, one and have like multiple accounts and then just log into with specific account. They will have to earn that in the game. That's quite important. And if that happens, then most likely they will stick to one, or maybe they will be built to maybe they will be able to build two characters, but they will not be able to have like 5 or something like that. Yeah. The the problem with these bunkers and looting and everything can be solved in a way that also, which I'm sort of fond of, that if you log out into the bunker, then eventually when we get NPCs and stuff like that, you can be captured and transferred to some other location, and you will lose everything that you found. So imagine that eventually we will have like guards and everything in these bunkers, and you basically log out, not in the safe area, and what happens is that guards will catch you and they will send you to prison, and you will lose everything that you gathered, not in a way that you will not be able to get to it, but maybe it will be somewhere and you will have to break out from the prison and get your stuff and everything. So this will definitely force people to get into the bunkers, loot and get out before logging out. So there are like always solutions. Right now this is not like a high priority for us, because we still have to do much more important stuff. We still have to do stuff like vehicles, like like motorcycles and other stuff, and like all soft skill sets that we have to develop, and eventually when we got that finished, then we will start polishing gameplay in that direction, and finding these loopholes and trying to fix them one by one.
Flag system. Why don't you add to the game limits for flags per team, per squad, per person, and elements that can build by certain levels of flags, for example, or just to limit or to give servers options to limit all this stuff? To limit the amount of base building elements, all this stuff, to let us optimize our servers a little bit.
Okay, that's I don't have anything against that. So maybe you can write it down with some suggestion and send it to me.
Okay.
Like a document, and I will see what can be done. So I don't have issues with that. So yep, I see this as a good suggestion for the game.
So we touch every critical questions, I think, and I got all the answers, and I want to thank you.
Like 90% of everything wasn't for me. So
they said me you are a director. They said me you are a director. You can answer, or you just make boom with your fist on your table, and everyone runs to his work. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. It was a pleasure. I hope that we will. I hope that we will repeat everything, in a couple of months or something like that. With stuff like rendering is doing great. There are no issues with network. Everything is working fine.
This is my wet dream. This is my wet dream for now as administrator.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Tomislav.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Nice day.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Let me see your body.